Something got me ghost bumping in the lot. You gon' prove something or this dope. What you really taught? This the mood. We gon' bring the crew up here to the spot.
Everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Do Something podcast. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. We got same 2 people, Robert and I, and today we're gonna be hopping into some different things. But what were you saying, Robert?
Yeah, you and I are the trusty co-hosts. As soon as we got to set up an intro for that, that'd be cute to get like a little like animatic thing. I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like put bits like this in as well, just like to have viewers seeing stuff where like they can see our growth and kind of what we're planning for in the future. So we'll see how it turns out, dear viewers. Love you all. Hello, welcome. So today, the topic is something very interesting and a very big, I guess, spin-off from our target audience, I would guess. So today we're going to be talking about, if we had a banner here, I'm sure you could edit it in. We're going to be talking about MLMs. MLMs stand for multi-level marketing schemes, and I actually had a very interesting run-in that I have told Rohan about, and we're going to be expounding upon in this wonderful podcast. So
yeah.
How's your day been? What's up?
I've been good.
Nice.
I think it's been an interesting day, a very long day, very productive day. Just been doing a lot of music-related stuff, and basically, just doing music-related stuff. And sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but now
where were you even at? Yeah, we're good.
How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? That's where we were at.
That's where I just beat a wonderful video game called Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Definitely a good game. Would recommend checking it out. The plot is weaker because it's the second one. I would recommend the first one and the second one, but the controls are tighter. So that's Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Absolute banger of a game. Would recommend. Besides that, I beat a video game. I ate some gingerbread cookies. Pretty satisfied in my life as it stands.
Nice, bro. That's great, man.
I'm sick.
You gotta enjoy life now. We got no more school. For me, again, I think I was trying to get to this before. It's been a very hard, a lot of hard work. I just helped out family in the first few hours, then I worked on I was working on a music video with you, and then I met up with you. And then I've been working on a contest submission that I'm doing for this challenge. Where the winner gets to be on a verse with 2 artists, Samad Savage and Crypt, which are really cool.
That's great.
So I've been working on that, making a little video for it, and this podcast. Hopefully I get kind of far in that. Hopefully, wow, this computer's hot. Hopefully, I do well in that, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
I think when this podcast episode drops, the song will drop the same day, so that'll be interesting.
Okay, the one you were talking about before, right? The one we were talking about today. Okay, cool.
So that's interesting.
That's gonna be nice.
Also, we got Maxed Up dropping next Friday, but I think
very fresh.
We'll be dropping by next. So it's gonna be a kind of cool. It's been kind of busy, but kind of cool at the same time.
For sure. Yeah, it's
I'm really happy to talk about the topics that I'm going to talk about with you today, because they're kind of they're different. They're definitely different than something that we've talked about before.
And I'll have, you already know, but I'll have the readers or the readers. I'll have the viewers know I have been riled about this. 100%. So you will see it. I will try to go off. We'll see how it turns out. So getting into the thick of it, MLMs, what are they? Multi-level marketing schemes. And what's crazy about this stuff is I had a personal run-in with one, but let's get into what actually it is. So a multi-level marketing scheme is basically like a pyramid scheme where you have you got the head, right? And so when you enter into this multi-level marketing scheme, whatever it is, your job is to recruit people below you. And those people basically, this is all like vending stuff, like you're selling stuff. And so for the most part, and so you'll be basically selling stuff super expensive. And the reason why it's so expensive is you kind of get sucked in, and you have to pay off the people above you. That what they call it is the upline, the people who are above you. I feel like the way I'm describing it is kind of sideways, but basically, to reiterate, you've got a pyramid kind of structure, and the idea is you keep recruiting, you keep expanding your pyramid, and you keep expanding the people that are selling. So the issue with this is that, okay, I'm sure you could see many issues with this. The fact that
it's like a
it
pyramid
just
scheme,
gets super
basically.
costly as expand. Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme, illegal. But the thing about MLMs is that they're just barely able to operate within legal constraints. And so they've also, a lot of them have faced lawsuits in the past, and you can see it. It's pretty clear as well. And so just checking how I sound about these, but yeah, I mean it's terrible, and they're very predatory as well. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about like my personal run-in with this, because it's a bit of a story. So basically, I had not I had a peer of mine. Basically, what you have to do is when you enter these MLMs, they ask for like all your contacts and stuff, and it's based on expanding. All about expanding, all about getting that pyramid base as wide as possible. So I had a peer of mine who fell in there. You and I both know them, this individual, but I'm not gonna name drop. I made a mistake about that in the past, but and they had my number basically given to this organization, right? And so I got a text about it, and I was like, this looks really, really sus. This looks super, super sus. Takes me to this super sketchy website that's like, do you have a solid Wi-Fi connection, like certain requirements and stuff like that. And so I was able to fill out the form several times. I just wanted to experiment around and see what I could get. And it asked for like it asks for your phone number for a follow-up. I guess that's reasonable, but like it just, in the context of it going on, it was really weird. But what else was the fact that like if you answered no in the do you have constant internet part, is it would immediately boot you. It would be like, no, you're not fit, just leave, get out. And so that's part of it too, is they're very predatory and they're very selective. And so I'm actually going to ask you, Rohan, is who do you think these MLMs target? Like, who do you think they gun for?
The MLMs obviously gun for people who are not knowledgeable about them. Now, I don't know much about MLMs, but from what you described, like how much of a pyramid scheme like structure it is, they obviously are targeting people who believe that stuff, and those people are usually in situations where they don't have many options. So I guess that, honestly, they just guess people who feel like that, who don't have many options.
Yeah. And what sucks is like exactly like you're saying, it's people who are kind of naive or they don't know very much about the world, or it's just like people who are poor, who are kind of like hoping on that last ditch opportunity to get themselves back and just like get back into the workplace, overcome that struggle, the American dream. And it's horrifying to be the fact that these MLMs are increasingly predatory. Like they focus specifically, and there's research on this. I feel like I should have like gotten some articles to cite it. We can always pop some in later. You can like, I don't know, we could say, oh, there's one up here, and then you could just paste the link. One up here, one, we'll see. But these MLMs are targeting specifically people of color, people who live in poverty, and high school students. And it's crazy because these three groups, like they're all very susceptible just based on the systems that they're in. Specifically, to my point, like as soon as you're out of high school, right, you're kind of thinking in a very like ideological manner. Like I know a lot of people have that, and it's been instilled in us, as I said before, the American dream, like you'll be able to make it here, and so that kind of relates back to like hustle ideology. And I want to ask you, Rohan, like how much have you interacted with hustle ideology, or like what role has it played in your life? Where have you seen it?
Hustle ideology is a huge part of my life, I think. I think that it's the reason why I've done so much musically in my career, because I'm very inspired by that hustle ideology, the fact that you just got to put the work in, and that the market doesn't discriminate on people who have talent. So I just keep on putting the work in, and hustle ideology has shaped a lot of my drive, shaped a lot of my motivation, and shaped a lot of my success. If I honestly, honestly speaking. So I'm grateful to hustle ideology because it helped me become the hardworking person I am today. But there's still work to be done on how hardworking I am. But now I'm on track to it, and it's helped me realize like the market really doesn't care about like what you have going on. You just got to put in the work. And that sounds depressing, but it's just the way it is. And if you find love in what you're doing, then if you're blessed enough to make enough money off what you love doing, then it's like great. It's like great. So
for sure. And I think like it's in a lot of instances, like you're saying, it's a very beneficial thing. Like it pushes you to really do your best and to like overcome odds, right? And what really makes me like mad is the fact that a lot of the time that kind of ideology can be like perverted, inverted, turned into this kind of weapon against people who want to believe it, you know? Because I think there's like the music industry, which you talk about a lot. I think hustle ideology is really important because you have to expect that, you know, you're not going to make it.
Also, related to that.
Yeah, definitely.
You have the need of putting out content, which is a part of hustle ideology in everything. But if we're specifically talking music industry, we have the rush to put out content. And now if you see, the clear trend is people are dropping way more music and making way shorter songs. There's comedian Hassan Minhaj said this too, that same thing. People are making shorter songs because they need to have more replayability because of streaming. And streaming has completely changed the landscape of music, and streaming has done way more than just make a different platform for things. Streaming has changed the value of music. Is music based on, now it's more quantity, I'd say, because you have artists dropping, albums used to be 10 to 12 tracks, I'd say, old. Now they're around 18.
Big old LPs.
They can stretch to 18 to 26. Someone like Chris Brown even doing a 32-track album. And that wasn't even the deluxe.
Jesus.
That wasn't even the deluxe. The deluxe had even more. So, like,
that's mad.
I'm not saying Chris Brown's talented, but like, you have artists pushing to do more, to put out more music. And usually albums come out once a year. If you're a top tier person, like if you're trying to make a top tier album, you sometimes take 2 years to make one. Now you have people putting out, like I think Comethazine putting out like 4 albums a year or something like that. Like doing that kind of stuff. So the hustle mentality is going crazy for that.
Yeah, I get that. And that's super interesting to me. The fact that I think hustle ideology has peaked, along with the fact that culture is kind of getting faster too. Like you've got TikTok, right? How fast in terms of like content delivered to your face, like in speed, is like TikTok's like the highest tier when it comes to that sort of thing, right? And it's the most sort of, I would say, recent kind of generation of that sort of thing. You know, would you agree or not?
TikTok, yeah, definitely. TikTok is definitely there when it comes to hustling, hustle mentality. I 100% agree. I cannot get myself to post TikTok sometimes because of how fast paced it is. I just can't get with that fast paced style of content. Like I prefer an Instagram more than a TikTok. And basically what TikTok does is when you post something, it's going to go really crazy, really like semi-viral, really crazy, like the first few hours, and then it's just going to stagnate. So it's about putting a bunch out. It's not,
so
it doesn't have much longevity at all. I'd say it doesn't have longevity at all.
Man.
Like it's very rare for me to see a TikTok blow up a while after it's released. It's like it releases, it gets a bunch of traction, it'll get hundreds of people seeing your TikTok, and then Judgment Day. Judgment Day in like a few hours.
Yeah, I get that.
So I'd say it's the most fast paced. If it's not Twitter. If not Twitter, Twitter might be fast.
Yeah. Oh, really? No, but I didn't really know about that. The fact that you would have old ones kind of stagnate, you know, because I guess it's very new, and so for cycle, like people, you'll go through it very, very quickly. And the fact that there's no like the way the app is designed is to kind of promote that. The fact that there's no clock at the top, you can't really like gauge time very well, and the fact that you never really have to reload, you can just keep scrolling, is like, it's a bit worrisome. But oh shoot, we deranged quite a bit from what we were talking about before, but it's fine.
You
we're
can
doing
keep
good.
going, but
Yeah. But yeah, like that's super interesting to me. I guess something that I didn't really consider. That's some good insight to me. The fact that like hustle ideology has peaked with how competitive things are getting, because things are they're speeding up even faster. Like I anticipate in the future, like if I'm gonna get, like you say, in my bag about like what the future is gonna hold in regards to like culture, music, whatever it is, I feel like it's gonna get even faster. Like I'm not saying there's gonna be like a brain download for that sort of thing, or like something the plug straight into your mind, but I think we're veering towards that. We're veering towards the point where it's like culture is just mass produced and attempted. Companies are like, they're kind of hopping on this and they're trying to be like memey and stuff, but they're still like lagging behind. Like as Gen Z, I think we're zoomers. We're just zooming through that content. It's just going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot more fast
This is the
paced.
part where
There's
you put
more people. There's more competition. So because there's more competition, more people are releasing content. So there's more people to compete with, and everyone wants it better, faster, basically. Those are the two things.
Yeah.
So now that there's more to compete with, it's harder to make it better and faster than the competition.
Yeah, because it's already so optimized at that point. Like, what are you gonna improve on? Yeah, and that's concerned. Like, at what point will it slow down? Will it ever slow down? Or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like we're moving at peak productivity now than ever. Like we're more productive now than ever with everything because there's more competition. If you're the only person, like it's like a monopoly, right? If you're the only person, then what do you have to like? Why do you have to appeal to consumers? You don't, because they need you, right? If you're the only artist in the world, you don't need to do anything.
Exactly.
But if there's a bunch of competitors, then you have to try to appeal to the audience more, basically.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's pretty frightening too. But man, that was pretty good. That was pretty final. I feel like you totally like sealed that off. I thought that was good how it carried through. But I think earlier we discussed a little bit of how like hustle ideology can be manipulated as well. Because like obviously it's becoming very prominent. With that prominence lies a lot of power. People are tapping into that. Like you've got entertainer Gary Vee. You know him, I know him. He's huge right now, but he really capitalizes off of that. So do you want to go off a little bit on how like his connection with hustle ideology?
Now I see a lot of people talk about hustle ideology. I don't know if you can hear me scratching my head a lot. I'm gonna stop doing that. But I see a lot of people talk about hustle ideology, basically. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of famous people, like, you just got to put in that work. If you want to make it, you got to put in that work, which is true. But I feel like they always want, you're making a good point with that. There's a lot of hustlers who want something. Like they want, they make it look like, oh, you're feeling bad about this. With this easy step, you're going to make it. And you just got to hustle. But like, there's more to it, first of all. We have to set goals. I feel like because of all this hustle, like we're driven, like we set these unrealistic goals and we're not real with ourselves, and then we just don't achieve anything. So I feel like, and second of all, a lot of these hustle people want you buying into the thing. So they'll target an insecurity of yours and say, oh, you feel like you don't work hard enough? Well, if you do my program, then all your problems are going to be fixed, which is not true.
And like going off real quick about that, just to like assign a checkpoint, I guess, is like, that's exactly sort of what really abusive companies like MLMs do, is they say like, it's just about the hustle. You got to really put in the work. And so even though, and what they do is really smart, is what they do is they make your paycheck seem really big, but part of what they demand from their customer base, which is also from their like employee base, those employees are often customers. Like they're buying stuff within that same company. They're buying like the books, the vacations, the whatever it is kind of through that company. So all that money is just being siphoned through that company. And so, but then you'll see really big paychecks. That's a lot paycheck. You instantly think that's the easiest way to gauge success. That's, I think, what a lot of these hostile ideology people harp on. And so you'll see that it's very convincing because people will see that paycheck, they will hold it, they will say it's physical, but they don't really pay attention to the stuff going on behind the scenes, the rest of the money that they're putting in, because all they're focused on is that one paycheck. So, so that's pretty horrifying too.
So it's like they simplify everything to one thing, and they make it so that one thing solves your insecurities.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a great thing to do at all. Yeah, I think that's a big thing to consider. So, like, for example, okay, here's the thing that I was going to say about Gary Vee, because you brought up Gary Vee. Yeah. Gary Vee, I feel like, is an exception to that rule. And I feel like that's because two things. One, he doesn't really ask his viewers that much stuff. He doesn't ask them to pitch, like buy anything from him that much. Like, he has a wine company. He said, if you support me, please buy this and stuff like that. It'd mean a lot to me, etc. But like, he's not like forcing people. He's not saying this one thing's gonna solve your everything.
Yeah.
He's real with it, and I think that's part of the reason. He also put out books like How to Crush It and stuff like that, which also obviously pinpoint people's insecurity of, oh, they're not doing well, and makes them want to buy this book. But I feel like for the book Crush It, or I think it's Crush, I don't know which one I have, Crush or Crushing It, the yellow one. Basically, nothing.
What about covers in other languages? Like other countries' covers might be yellow or something like that, man. You'd be talking about like some crazy, continue though.
But like, nothing is like nothing in that book is new. Like, he says all that stuff for free in the public. So all the answers that you can get from Gary Vee are already out there for free. That's why that's one reason why I respect him, because he's not really asking anything from you. Sorry. He already has, he's just putting out what he believes is true. And I've tried a lot of his strategies and they've worked. Second of all, the most important thing, which is what makes, I feel like, hustle culture so toxic now, is the lack of self-awareness. People don't teach you to be self-aware. You need to hustle in the way customizable to yourself. And Gary Vee goes over that. You need to be happy, and you need to prioritize your happiness, and you need to be self-aware and understand what you like to do and what you don't like to do.
Yeah.
And
that's a really good point, especially based on the fact that, like, basically a lot of companies will kind of sell you a model for that self-awareness, and they'll kind of like already set goals for you, just because some people don't really have those set in their mind. But I think, like you're saying, the true way to do it is to figure out what goals that you want personally, like customized for you. But the crazy thing is, these companies are these entities, companies, whoever it is that's selling them, they're selling like kind of manipulated or like simplified, abstracted plans of success, which like that could be why a lot of them don't work.
Yeah, because life is way too complicated. It's not like that. And Gary Vee's content is not for everybody. It's not, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're making $50K a year or $30K a year and you're happy, his content's not for you. He's not saying everyone should be an entrepreneur or everyone should be he's just making sure your goals line up with yourself and that you're self-aware. So if you want to be an influencer, if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be a musician, you got to put in a lot of effort to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. So you can't become, he says himself, his content is for complainers. So if you're complaining about this stuff, here are the ways to do it. It's going to take hard work. You don't have to do it. No one said you did. You made that decision. And basically what his content is just teaching people to be honest with themselves. And if they want to do something very extraordinary, then they have to act extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if they don't want to, that's completely fine. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
he even brought up before how he has people in his life who are working those 9 to 5 jobs who are happier than him,
Uh-huh.
and he's happy for them. Like
Yeah.
that's it's just because you can't judge happiness in this world, and money and success are the easiest ways people can, because people
Mm-hmm.
want a way to compare themselves to other people,
Yeah.
and money is I'd say one of the things, the
I mean, it's
easiest
the capitalist
factors
scoring system, right?
to judge,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you can't look at two people and say this person's more happy than this person,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't
right?
really
Because people
quantify
can
that. Yeah.
fake that stuff, people can
Mm-hmm.
lie about that stuff, and you can't measure happiness. I don't think you
Mm-hmm.
can,
Yeah.
but you can
Mm-hmm.
measure money. So that's why money is
Yeah.
used at that stuff.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, it was a little
Yeah.
tangent, but yeah,
But
so
yeah, I mean, I think you're totally right about that. And I think it uses, it's very much used as a scoring system almost. You know, it's basically like points,
yeah.
but it's for the real world. And so I think a lot of the time, like, that's crazy. That's crazy concerning as well. You know, like,
Hmm.
obviously what they say, money doesn't bring happiness, all that. But another thing too is a lot of like culture around these MLMs, these like pyramid scheme type systems, is just so focused on that, you know, and it's just crazy the fact that like it's very cultish in that regard. You have people that are championing champiñones, mushrooms,
Championing.
championes, these kind of like basically like perverted um, iterations of hustle ideology. You know, so
Hmm.
instead of like you said, having iterations that are really like self-aware and focusing on that part, is they're very like corporate. They're very like
Hmm.
you got to do it like out of selflessness to the company. Like you owe your life to us now. Obviously, that's a bit of an extreme example, um, but the prevailing thing is it's based on that degree of selflessness that a lot of people will have. Like I know that a really big driving factor is making a better situation, not just for yourself, but also for your family too, which is really like there's have you heard of like the Japanese hikikomori? I
No, I
think
haven't.
that's what they call them. But basically they're kind of like overworked. Oh wait, no, I think those are the sheltered individuals. Hold on. Double check it. Well, oh wait, never mind. It's not hikikomori, it's something else. Japanese, bro. But the cultures of overworking exist like all around the world, and
Hmm.
I think a lot of the time it can be found, or it's talked about quite a bit. But one example is in Japan. And it's called karoshi, where like you'll be working so hard that you die. You know, like you fail to meet your own needs, and so that overwork or that hustle ideology can be played to such a degree to the point that you don't really recognize good hustle ideology anymore, or it's really intended to benefit yourself.
Yeah.
Instead, it just becomes not even about you anymore. Like you lose your sense of self in those systems, and that's
Yeah.
like one of the most horrifying factors to me.
It's all about yeah, being careful and cautious. Can you elaborate more about that selflessness thing?
Yeah. So a lot of people will, like I was saying before, like selflessness can be a really big factor in agreeing with hustle ideology. Like if you want to give a lot to your family, to your community, to your country or whatever, gain success. But like I'm saying, have it diffused, you know, that degree of selflessness can be super dangerous when a company wants you to think it, because that selflessness begins to apply not just to your family, not just to your community or your country, but to that corporation. It basically just ends up sucking in that money from you, you know. And so even
Yeah.
though it's painted as, oh, I'm being selfless, I'm giving all I have, you know, to these people, you know, that have built me up already, instead it's actually this parasite is just eating people up and kind of like conforming them into its system.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, they really like to play on insecurities, and people have an insecurity also of being too selfish. So there's also that.
Yeah.
Well, are you selfish? You don't want to help out people? Like, they play on that. So
Exactly.
So I think they love to play off insecurity, as we mentioned before. And as we can continue mentioning, that's what marketing is. Marketing is playing off insecurity. But if everyone in the school rocks Z-strap, right? You want to rock Z-strap because you have the insecurity of you not being cool. If beauty products are for insecurity of people feeling ugly, right?
Yeah.
Rick and Morty targets the insecurity of people feeling dumb.
Yeah.
So they watch Rick and Morty to feel.
This has definitely changed quite a bit. But I never got into it, so I don't know.
That's a little bit of a reach, but yeah.
I like that one. I like that one though. Yeah.
People play off insecurities, and the reason, as I said before, I respect Gary Vee is because I don't think he's not manipulating the insecurities, because he's telling people that they're good enough. He's telling people the reverse of what other people are telling them.
For sure.
So it's really hard to analyze, but next time you try to buy something, check why are you buying it.
Yeah.
Even music, bro. Even music. Like, people listen to artists to feel a different way, to feel cooler, to feel calmer.
And to feel like a part of, to feel like homogenized. Yeah.
Like, I feel more like, how do I say this? Smooth when I listen to Jack Harlow. I just feel like more smooth. I feel more suave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The music has to make you feel some type of way. And Harlow talked about that in his interview too. He makes that music to make people feel a certain type of way. Yeah. So it's around across everything in marketing. People play on your insecurities. You don't want to look cool, right? You want to look smart, right? You want to impress him or her.
Well,
right?
I've got the shoes, the glasses, the X product.
And this simplistic item, this tiny item, is going to solve that complicated problem in your head.
Listen, this tiny pill gets rid of fat loss, all right? Just 3 simple steps in your doctor's sister's wife's
This is a complex problem that you have complex insecurities that you've been dealing with for years and maybe even decades, right? And you think that this small product is going to fix that all? That's even with money, dog. It's even marketing with money. If you get this money, all your problems are going to disappear.
Yeah.
You have
a lot of time that goes a lot deeper.
And money is going to solve them.
And I like a lot how you tied that back around, because I think we really wanted to end this with the fact that kids out there, please be careful. Do not buy into MLMs. Be self-aware. Be careful what you consume, because what you consume ends up being part of you. Your point about music was very, very interesting to me, because I didn't really consider the fact that a lot of the time, sometimes people buy music for an image or to feel a part of that. Like,
which I do too. Front. Like that's how it works usually.
Yeah.
Like ILM, the song I created, I made that so I feel a certain way when I listen to that. I feel cared about. I feel worth it. So it works for everything. You just have to be able to use that correctly to do good instead of bad.
Yeah.
There's artists that people listen to feel ignorant. If they want to feel ignorant, they'll listen to a Annalise Chapo, or they'll listen to
Josiah. Yeah, is a good.
Which are both great artists in my opinion. I'm just saying they're
good.
Off that.
They're good. Yeah.
There's people who listen to artists that feel calm, and I said that was wrong before, but I correct myself. That's still a feeling that people have.
Yeah.
So it's all about capturing those feelings. People wear clothing to feel a certain way. That skater culture. Supreme.
Exactly.
Supreme is the freaking.
Oh my gosh.
Embodiment of brand.
Yeah.
Embodiment of brand. When you wear that Supreme hat, you feel a certain way.
It's instantly associated with money, with power.
You feel exclusive.
And the same thing with big name brands, any big name brand. But actually, before we spin off into that, And so before we spin off into that, I actually wanted to spin a little bit of a yarn about, you were talking about music and culture. And so I think one of the main reasons why I actually love EDM so much, not just because of the hype, but it's also because of like really positive rave culture, feeling part of that really welcoming community, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that has a really big pull too, just the fact that communities behind the products can be so enthralling and so powerful. And so you really got to be careful about how, like, do you want to, when you buy that product, you are kind of not giving yourself over, but like you're kind of not just buying into the product, but you're buying into that community, into the ideas behind it, and you're making yourself closer to that. So it's important to consider what you want yourself to be close to.
Definitely. So just keep an eye out. Understand that marketing is just that, and it can be put to good use or not, but it's not just about hashtags or networking or this or that. Marketing is about making something represent something in your heart and strike a chord. So
exactly,
you're gonna hear this all throughout everything, and some people play off insecurities, like a lot of MLMs do, where they target specific emotions to make you feel stupid
and
if you don't have
communities
this,
in which
ugly if you don't have this, etc. And for people
and
who
specifically targeting those communities in which those emotions can be very prevalent as well.
Because people who are less stable lives, like maybe financially, are I'd say more likely to have less control of things, which may not be their fault, but just
it's just the truth of the circumstance. So anyway, stay safe out there, kids. Thank you, viewers, for attending all of this, for getting through all of this. So I think that wraps up things pretty well. I mean,
I'd like to thank everyone, for coming and watching this, and just stay safe and be conscious of what you're consuming, and if you understand the game, then put it to good use.
100%.
Do something. Remember to do something.
We'll call it a day. Do something.
Okay.
Always.
See you guys.
And then you can stop recording now.
Okay, do something, got me ghost bumping in the lot. You gon' prove something, or this dude, what you really taught. This the mood, we gon' bring the crew up here to the spot. And I move, I don't wanna lose something that I got. Okay, late night with the boys, late night with the boys, late night with the boys. We cut out the noise. Okay, messing with the kid, you for not get destroyed. I speak the words because I got the voice.